Mohit Java, I'm going to start by you and jump in there on, what you saw happen as far as China is concerned, what you've seen happen in Philippines, working with Unilever and, taking forward the Unilever strategy in some of those markets. How similar does the Indian market look to the kind of consumption explosion that we saw in China? How far back are we, from that big China moment that we saw? I know you're a big believer in the Indian consumption story. You have previously said in an interview to me that this is India's consumption decade. Quantify that for us.
Thanks, Shireen. Happy to kick off, and thanks again, Falguni and the Nykaa team for having me here. It's really a privilege to partner with you in this journey of transforming India's beauty industry, shaping it together. But just speaking about beauty to begin with, because that's why we are here. And if you looked at the per capita income, the consumption of the beauty industry at the moment, cleansing and care is very, very small at the moment in India. It's about $2 or thereabouts. You go further up to the east, to Indonesia, it's about 8. You go to China, it goes to 30. So, and you go further up to Japan, I promise you it's even higher. And when I was in China, we used to look at Japan and say, listen, if you draw the curve of the consumption with per capita, this is where China's going. And China was $40 billion in scale at that time, a few years back, not including colors and so on and so forth. So there was enough headspace for China alone to basically go to the next level. So if you look back at, I've been fortunate to be in so many markets to see the curve of how the industry develops. I think from an India point of view, we are in the foothills of a massive mountain, and we will reach massive heights, and the potential is infinite, at least in our lifetime, because we're talking 1.4 billion people. If you look at just the top 50 million, let's say, more affluent people, many of them are here, and then they're already using 5 or 6 steps. You call it stepification, the regime in HUL we call it, and therefore the beauty consciousness and the aspiration is already been unlocked, especially even in more macro, larger population base through Instagram, through Facebook and other such social media. And I'm not joking, because I was, and I'm just going to take you from the other end. Yes. I was in a tour to a village where we have a Shakti entrepreneur, and I sat with 3 women, different age brackets, one young, one middle-aged, on a charpai in a open field. And this lady who was there, she was newly married into the village. She said, I was a beauty technician. I now got married into this village, and I don't want to stay here. I want to eventually go to the city. And I said, what do you do? She said, I look at Instagram, and she named a very, very expensive brand. I was totally shocked that she knew about it.
It wasn't one of yours.
It wasn't one of ours. It was a prestige brand. She named that brand right there and said that, listen, I'm actually want to use that brand, and I want to use e-commerce. So the aspiration, the access, the awareness has actually been unleashed across the country. So basically, in sum, what I'm saying is that by and large, the beauty industry develops in a similar way, in that it gets more fragmented, it becomes more digital, more social, it gets more and more clinical, and it gets more and more social, influencer-led, etc. But the arc is, while similar, we are still in the early stages of that development. And we will have many, many decades of growth ahead of us.
Yeah, I would imagine that we'll have a long way to go. But, to pick up on what you just said, that we're at the foothills of a very large peak that we hope to be able to summit to. Let me ask you to take us through. You talked about where we are today just in one category, cleansing and cleaning. And you said we're at $2 versus 8, which is the next market that you were talking about, in China at 30 and so on and so forth. From 2 to 8, how soon do you think we'll be able to get to that trajectory?
The short answer is the future is already here. It's not evenly distributed. So there are, it's a big country. We have many Indias. You can call them Alpha, 1, 2, 3. We have various terms across different companies, and I'm sure we segment the market. So there is already, as I mentioned, 50, 60 million people, which is the size of a UK, for instance. Which is already middle income in affluence, middle income in habits, is already consuming at that level. And we have, therefore, many Indias at the same time. And what successful companies will have to do in India is to be a beauty shaper, as we've been as HUL. We've been here for a long time in this industry. is to serve all segments with different product solutions, with what they can afford, and democratize many of the benefits that people see and hear about, but truly want to experience through different brands. So it's going to be a portfolio play to address different segments at the same time. So in short, future is already here, and it's going to keep going up in waves as the country develops and more people enter the more consuming segments of the population.
I'll talk to you about the next wave in just a second, but Falguni, let's continue the conversation and talk about the India opportunity, and I'll talk to you that in the context of the kind of growth that Nykaa has seen. You're 35 million customers on the platform at this point in time. You're not just digital, you're also now present across different cities. You've got 200 stores at this point in time. And just going by the beauty numbers, your beauty GMV is up 28% to 2,543 crores. Beauty revenue at 1,594 crores is up 23%. I'm not asking you to forecast for us what the next quarter is going to look like. We don't want SEBI to come down on us. But, what could this number look like over the next few years?
No, I think if we go back when Nykaa was started just about 12 years ago, the per capita consumption in India was as low as beauty and personal care was as low as $6. And today we are at about $15 per capita. And even this, for our income level, is below where we should be. Countries with similar income levels, to answer your question, have per capita consumption which is 3 to 4 times. So they're already at somewhere around $45 per capita. So India is below on beauty consumption habit, and that's where Nykaa always felt that education and social media is also helping a lot, but education at scale is the way to kind of bring more consumers into beauty consumption. And that is happening very rapidly. And exactly to answer your question, like Rohit said, we also see that our top quartile percentile, we internally call them California users. So they already behave like California users in per capita consumption, but at the same time, the marginal customer also comes at a very low consumption level. And the whole trick is to get them more involved, get them more educated, and get them to buy more. And that's where what Anchit earlier said, we work very hard to cross-pollinate other categories and increasingly using journeys to keep educating them on more and more categories, further depth in their sophistication of consumption so that we can take them on that journey.
Since you're talking about the access issue, which is in many ways been addressed with the advent of technology, with the advent of platforms like yours, awareness and education, both of you spoke about that. To pick up on what Rohit said, what's the next wave? You've traversed this territory over the last 12 years with what you've been able to establish at Nykaa. What do you see as the next wave, both in terms of discretionary spending on this category, as well as in terms of the next set of trends that you intend to capitalize on?
So one of the mistake everyone makes is, and I always talk about it at investor conferences, that they feel that we'll go to the most marginal customer and bring them in for kajal. I think the consumption of beauty will not grow just like that. Consumption of beauty is also going to grow where someone like me, who was just a consumer of 5 products, today consumes 20, and there are sophisticated consumers who consume even 50 products in their beauty basket. So the consumption grows multifold, bringing new customers into the net. Like we talked earlier, Aseem said that there are only 80 million consumers who buy beauty online, whereas the same number of online e-commerce buyers is 250 million. So there's a lot of, in the funnel, there's a lot of drop, and our firm belief has been that education at scale, and obviously this is a discretionary category, so people getting excited about something. New launches have a big role to play. Beauty as a category always has about 25 to 30% new launches, and brands that bring a lot of excitement into the market do very well. And now world is an oyster, so every brand, whether international brand or Indian brands, many D2C brands, they're bringing some of the best innovation into the world and also into India. So India is an important market for all brands, and Indian consumers are benefiting from that trend, creating excitement which allows them to grow their consumption.
Yes, and technology certainly ensured that a consumer sitting in India and a consumer sitting in Africa or Australia has access to the same information, so the aspirational quotient has gone up significantly. You said your cart has gone from 5 to 20. Falguni, what are the 10 things that you added?
Many. I mean, firstly, I also am now very interested in trying anything new. So, yeah, if I start 20 also, it will be a small number.
Okay, Visma, let me come to you now. And again, just to pick up on and draw parallels between what we're seeing happen globally and what we're seeing happen here. I mean, markets like the US where, the out-of-pocket spends on beauty has gone up significantly. And, as everybody's pointed out here, the Indian consumer is just about getting started in this category. How do you look at where India is and, are you designing a different playbook for India specifically?
Thank you very much for the question, Shireen. And once again, thank you very much for having me here, Falguni and Anchit. If we were to talk about the Indian consumer, and I know there are lots of parallels that people like to draw, is India going to be the next this, is India going to be the next that? I'm a very firm believer that India is the next India. We have the largest population in the world, we have the largest democracy in the world, we have growing affluence. In less than a decade, quarter of the world's working population is going to be here in India. You have young people, you have hyper digitally connected people, and all these consumers are getting more information that's making them more demanding. So the route, the path that India is going to chart is going to be its own path. You can draw some inspiration from other places. I mean, there's lots of data. We have data which says that once you start hitting a per capita GDP of about $10,000, there's a tipping point, and that's where the beauty consumption goes up. Now, one can say India is very far from it, but like Rohit said, you have a lot of Indias, right? So you have segments of population that are way beyond that already, and they're going in that direction. The important thing for all companies, all manufacturers, all partners in the trade is the consumer is going to find his own way, his or her own way, and we have to respond to it. And that's going to come first and foremost from technology, from giving products that are high performance, that are relevant, and then getting them into the hands of consumers. And that's where partners like Nykaa become very important for us. Because L'Oreal as a company, we don't have a big strength when it comes to really, really deep distribution. It's a known fact, and I'm saying it with all humility. Sitting next to Rohit, I don't have the depth of...
You preempted my question because that is exactly what I was going to ask both Falguni and Rohit. And let's address that. And Rohit, I think for FMCG companies, FMCG giants like HUL, the distribution muscle was the key differentiator. The distribution muscle was your big moat. So is Falguni a frenemy today? How do you see this?
Firstly, why do you keep saying was?
Okay. I mean, relative.
No,
is it still as big a differentiator?
Of course, speaking more broadly, it is. Because all of us have lived in this country, and I don't want to speak too much about it, but getting to the last, and it doesn't happen overnight. It takes tens of years of organic network building and demand creation and demand serving for that to happen. So indeed, reaching in every part of the country is not an easy task, and it's therefore indeed continues to be an important moat that I'm actually honored to carry forward as a legacy. Now you're speaking about, I think the question is are
you frenemies?
No, I don't think that's the way to look at it, because frankly consumers, how do the consumers shop in Nykaa? They go there for content, for education, for awareness building, for experience. They probably go there by actually looking at some content in a social media site. They probably sometimes buy in the platform, sometimes they buy off the platform. So consumers have no enemy or friend. They're only their own friend. So they are omni-channel in behavior and consumption. So it does happen that for the kind of consumer that Nykaa serves, which is the top 30, 40, 50 million, even 100 million, for them e-commerce and digital way of life is quite organic, and they would tend to buy a lot. And once they experience the service, the packaging, and the after sales and the content in Nykaa, maybe they get engaged. And I'm sure that's your intention, to build a whole lifetime value. So that's a segment of customer that is being served, and a segment of shopping mission that is being served by Nykaa. So for other shopping missions, whether it's something which is more today's need, or a Dove soap, 10 rupee Dove soap in a rural outlet, you have to be physical. And I promise you, I've seen Dove soap at 10 rupees, or the small versions of that in outlets like that, or a sachet version of a Pond's sunscreen, and so on and so forth. So it's about serving multiple shopping missions and respecting the fact that consumers are omni-channel in their behavior. And for certain shopping missions, certain shoppers, Nykaa is the destination platform.